Hello. I thought I'd do a walkthrough of the garden. I like making garden videos. I don't know if that's a thing anymore. I don't really watch too much YouTube, so I'm out of the loop, but I like making them. I like looking back at my garden, and I've been meaning to do this since like April. I wanted to do an April video, and now it's May. So anyway, I think I have radishes. I think I have radishes growing out of the garden. Anyway, it is May 7th, and we got a lot of crazy stuff going on in the garden. We're kind of between the winter garden and the summer garden. Trying not to do too much all at once, because I know when it gets hot I won't be able to keep it up. But if it was up to me, I would have like a big huge garden and then it would all die. So it's actually nice today. We had a couple hot days and a couple cold days and a couple drizzly days. Drizzly days are great for the garden. So anyway, we'll just walk through. I have 6 main beds. I have a couple perennial beds. So my husband has a couple beds. My daughter has a bed here. She mostly likes to grow flowers. But this is the first bed. This one's under the tree a lot, so I like to grow my lettuce under here because it gets shaded from the afternoon sun. So I just have a little bit of, I think this is black-seeded Simpson. I had to seed this twice. I put new soil in my beds, and I think it needed to settle because I think it was drying out really quickly when it was still kind of fluffy. But now it's settled, and my second round of seeds has germinated, so I'm a little behind. These are Swiss chard that were from last year. I'm letting them flower, mostly for the bees. You can see I have kale back here. The bees love brassica flowers. So, and you can still, I'm still harvesting the leaves. And then I'll take some of the seeds. I still have so many kale seeds, which is why I have so much kale growing. These little fruits form after the flowers are pollinated, and once these dry out, there's little round seeds inside. So I've done that for many years, and I really don't even need to save the seeds at this point because they just throw them and they just volunteer wherever they want. So I thought I'd see if these flowers are also something that the bees like. But yeah, there's still quite a bit of kale in here that I can eat, and it's tender enough this time of year that it's good for salad greens, and you can cook with it, throw it in soups, put it in a saute. I have this lettuce. I don't know if it volunteered or if it overwintered, but it's huge. I have not taken anything off of it. I probably should. But anyway, I have that. It's beautiful. I planted a few things here. You can see I always put sticks because I have a bad habit of just throwing seeds out, and I don't keep that much of record keeping. So nothing came up there. Like I said, the soil was very fluffy at first, and I don't even know what I planted there. So I guess I don't miss it that much. Here's the second bed. You can see I also had to repair some of these beds. I am going to switch over to metal beds. I got a couple metal beds just to try them out, and I like them. The cost of lumber is outrageous, and in theory, when I first made them, I read that they're supposed to last 5 or 6 years. They last like 2 years before they start needing attention. So I just got some scrap wood, and I've shored up the sides here just to get another year or 2 out of them, because the main part of the bed will be nice, but it's just like the corners where they attach. And I've tried linseed oil to protect the wood. I've tried all sorts of things, and I think I'm just going to stick with the metal, galvanized metal. This was a kale that's also, you can see this one flowered first, so its seed pods are a little bit farther along. They look like little green beans. And I really don't do anything. I let the plant do this. It flowers, it's great for the bees, and then they just dry on the plant. And they're really easy to collect. You can just take the whole dry plant, put it in a paper bag, shake it around, and then sift out all the seeds. This part of the bed, I put some like grocery store potatoes that started to sprout. This one I put in first, so it has a head start. So that's a potato. And then I had a few more, so I just put them in there, but they haven't come up yet. And if they don't, that's okay, because I don't really intend to grow potatoes here, but there's a potato growing here. I have a half of a tomato cage that I tried to use kind of as a potato tower. So I might put that here, and then fill it up with either like hay, straw, or I got a bunch of wood chips. I did chip drop for the first time this year. It was a surprisingly successful operation. So chip drop If you don't know, you sign up and then you can get wood chips from arborists dropped in your driveway, and you have no control over who does it, when they do it, where, it's one of those, like, you're at the mercy of the good wishes of the arborist. But the person who came and dropped off at my house was great. It's a lot of chips, and you gotta be ready for it at a moment's notice, but it worked out well for us. So I'll show you where I put some of the wood chips. These are sugar snap peas, self-saved seeds. So I planted them thickly, just, because you never know with self-saved seeds. And I think things like this do better when you plant them thickly. They kind of self-mulch. Ideally, I would like to not see any soil in my bed, but like I said, I'm kind of in between growing seasons, so you will see soil. But they came up really nicely, I think. I didn't count or, take that, like I said, I don't take that much data, but looks like pretty good germination to me, despite being self-saved. And so they'll go up my, I have this arch made out of a cattle panel. Here's some more Swiss chard that's gone to seed. Over here I have some radishes, and I just did a small amount because my plan was to put a small amount in. You can see a little radish there. I was going to put a few, maybe like 20 seeds every week. I did that twice, so I have 2 bunches of radishes, and that's it. I got to put some more out. And again, we got all sorts of trees and maple trees and things growing, but that's okay. Here, this is all kale. Again, all those beautiful yellow flowers. It's later in the day, and also it's getting a little overcast, so the bees seem to have vacated. But in the sunshine, middle of the day, they'll be, in this patch, this is quite a bit of kale here, and there's quite a few flowers. Probably a couple thousand flowers for them to visit here. There'll be 20 bees here, so that's cool. Hopefully some of them are mine. Here was these are green beans. I want to put more beans on this side, but this was like a kid activity at the library a couple weeks ago. They started a little pot of seeds, and so my daughter put hers here, and I'll show you where my son put his. So we got a couple green beans started. I think that's all that's in this bed. There's some Swiss chard over here. These are also overwintered Swiss chard. So there's a yellow one there. I like the yellow ones. Can you see it? More kale. This is cilantro we've been enjoying, and it's starting to flower. Cute little flowers. And you can still use all this frondy stuff. You can use the leaves below. Even these thicker stems are really good for like broth, like tortilla soup, things like that. I love the taste of cilantro, so I definitely don't have the soap gene. Here I threw out some more kale seeds. I have this entire container of seeds because I save them every year, even though I have so many. So I just throw them everywhere. They're coming up pretty nicely. And here on these 2 sticks I started some more Swiss chard, and they're just starting to come up. So these ones are overwintering. They'll be pulled out eventually. And so these ones will kind of replace that. Again, another flowering Swiss chard, flowering kale. Here's volunteer dill. I have not purposely planted dill in 7 or 8 years probably at this point. Got a nice patch here that I can put a tomato or a pepper in. I have a hard time remembering to leave open space for the actual summer crops. And here, these are snow peas. These are also self-saved seeds, 100% self-saved seeds. So I'm really happy with the germination here. And then this is just a shorter trellis. This was a tomato cage that I opened up, and I just put it on this here. And it works pretty well. And they look really good. I have a nice good patch here too, so I can stick something there as well. And again, I got repairs here. I'll show you, this one I repaired 2 years ago, and so you can see this entire corner is completely like gone, so this bed would have been no good at all. This is the last bed that I have to touch up, so I have not weeded. This is my perennial bed, so it was the last of importance, and so I still haven't gotten to it. But I have garlic in here. I actually forgot to plant, well, I didn't forget, I just ran out of time to plant it in the fall, so I was like, I'll plant it in the spring. I still didn't do that. So there's a few garlics that got missed when I harvested. Oh, it's raining on me. That's wonderful. And then over there I have my asparagus. And then there's a few kale in there as well. But anyway, what I was saying is this corner, I just took these old boards and just to keep this board was flopping over. So I repaired that corner and I repaired this corner, and we're on 2 years. So, I mean, I think it ends up being, when I first made the beds, I think they were $30 each to make a bed. And now the last bed, I'll show you, my husband made a new bed and it ended up being like $68 for the materials. And they only last a few years. So I got some galvanized beds on Amazon. They were like 40 something dollars. I can link the ones I got because they look pretty nice and they're doing a good job, and they have like a 20-year lifespan or something, and probably more, as long as, you know, you're not doing anything terrible with them. Yeah, I like how I'm standing here just running my mouth showing you the literal ugliest bed of my entire garden. But yeah, so we're going to switch over the galvanized. Also, the other thing I'm going to do is when I replace the beds, I'm going to put them closer together. We left this purposeful amount of space between for the lawnmower to be able to pass through here, but I think what I'll do is I'll just put them much closer together. And the two beds over here, I'll show you, closer together, just enough to get through, and then I'll put wood chips down or something like that so that we won't even have to mow between them. Here's kind of an overlook. Basically, my garden is just flowering kale at this point. Let's see, over here I got blueberries. This was the first blueberry I put in maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. And it's covered in blueberries. Very nice. The bees have been visiting and doing their job. And then this one also has lots of blueberries. And then there's this other small one. These two were put in at the same time. This one's not, I don't know if it has to do with the sun or the soil or what. It's not growing as fast, but it looks okay. It has like 3 blueberries on it, but it can catch up. Here's my apple tree. I bought this apple tree on clearance from Lowe's so long ago. It did terrible for so long. We had a neighbor that had a cedar tree with the cedar apple rust galls on it, and so this tree did terrible for years. Last year was the first year that the apples actually made apples, but then I think something ate them. So we actually got little tiny apples. This would have been like a huge success a few years ago. So eventually at some point, maybe it will be, it's like an apple shrub at this point. Like my blueberry bush and my apple tree are about the same size. And this is just a few years old, and this is like more than a decade old. So anyway, this is the wood chips that I got. I put wood chips here like a foot thick. They've settled a lot, but mostly I wanted to have a place to put them, but I wanted this to be so thick. I didn't want to, you know, I would put $150 worth of mulch down and it would look terrible within a few weeks. And I have enough weeding to do. I don't need to be weeding mulch patches. And the weeds are still coming up, of course, but yeah, I put this super thick in here just to suppress as much as possible. Here's a fig. My husband pruned this back one pretty aggressively. This one doesn't really give that much fruit. It's green figs. They're called Italian honey figs. It's coming up from the base a lot. I think he had to cut it all the way down last year. There was no life in any of the branches. This one he trimmed it in the off season to this height so that it didn't get too big, because it does grow a lot. Maybe by the end of the season, if I keep up on my garden videos, you'll see. But it is coming up a lot from the base. And then this one here is a Turkish fig. And this is where we get like 90% of our figs from. So it's just starting to leaf out, and there are figs already forming. And this one I did prune. This is the first year I pruned it, and I didn't want to be too aggressive. Let's see up there, there's lots of figs. I didn't want to be too aggressive because I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of just started hacking at it. But it gets so big that I can't pick from it. And so it looks like it's come back just fine. I think next year I will prune it more aggressively. You can see all of this is new growth, and it's just the beginning of May. So this tree will just explode with growth. I think roots are definitely established, and it's just like go time now. I did mulch around here pretty thickly, and I purposely put some of these branches under the mulch. So hopefully it's kind of like making some cuttings without cutting them. See if they make roots, and then I'll cut them off if they do. If not, whatever. Over here I have horseradish. I dug it up and spread it around a few places. So this one's coming back very nicely. That's a lilac bush that I took from the base of this lilac tree just to see if I could. This is a rhubarb. It's got green stalks though, which you know, not my favorite. I wish I had one with greens or with red stalks. Let's see, green stalks taste the same. Doesn't look very good. When you cook it down, it gets kind of brown. Let's see. Show you what the bees look like. I wish they were doing better. I don't want to say they're doing poorly. Just check for some asparagus. Some of these have gotten away from me, so sometimes you come out here and search for them. And sometimes you find one right at the right time and you can actually eat it. That's alright. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to say the bees are doing bad, but I wish they were doing better. I wish everything was doing better. So there's only bees in this box right now, and they're actually only in the bottom box. The top box is just to hide the feeding jar in there, and then I had to put DE around because there were ants going in there. Yeah, there's ants all over the front right now. And that is just extra box. Woodenware, nothing going on there. I planted clover in my lawn. The dog tore up the yard, and there's also standing water that's here. So you can see the little patches of clover. I just bought some clover seed off of Amazon. So hopefully, you know, it fills in and also will provide a nectar source for my bees. Some there. Here's strawberries. They were in this bed. This bed is overrun with morning glories that my neighbor planted on this fence and then promptly moved away. So, yeah, we've been trying to rip them out for several years now, and they just come up. So what I did is I got a new bed. Here's one of the galvanized metal beds. Then I got another one back here. I'm going to move here once I take this dead fig out. And so this is going to be a strawberry bed. I did put some radishes just until the strawberries fill out. I transplanted a bunch of strawberries over, and like I said, this soil was really fluffy and it's just dried out. I would water it daily and it's still dried out. So they'll eventually spread and take over. Until then, I got some radishes. This is where my son likes to do his little gardening. He got some sugar snap peas growing up this tomato cage. These are some old kales from last year. He's got a couple radishes, and then those are the green beans that he got at the little children's activity. Back there is just weeds. There's one last strawberry that I didn't see when I transplanted everything from this bed over, and after everything kind of died back, I just left it there, and maybe I'll wait till I get a little bit more, either mulch this so that it stays moist, or wait until the soil settles a little bit, and then I'll transplant that last one, because I do have some good strawberry plants. A lot of them already had lots of flowers when I transplanted them, so you can see, like, I don't know if there's anything going to come of these, but I do have some red strawberries. Probably the catbirds will get them before we will, but mostly just trying to establish. This fig tree does have some life. I might have to dig it up and figure out somewhere else for it to go. It doesn't do well here. And then I'm going to put that last bed so you can see how close these beds are. Just enough to get through. Although if they're growing as thickly as I would like them to be, this ends up being the problem, but that's okay. I mean, I think that's enough. That's probably about 18 inches. Enough space to get through. And if we ever do, like, have an overrun weed problem, you can run the weed whacker through there if you can't get the lawnmower through. So I'll probably put that other metal bed here. And then these are my husband's beds. We found these corner pieces. This bed ended up being quite expensive because of corner pieces, and then we had to buy 2 to get the right height, or 2 per corner, so that's 8. And then all new fresh wood, but that's the way he wanted to do it. I don't know if he knew about the galvanized beds at that time, or how well they were going to work for us, but this will work for a little while. We put some beets in this end, and radishes in that end, and you can see these beds are even closer together. Here's some morning glory coming up. We're trying to pull it all out before it flowers and throws its seed, but I think it goes under the ground too. I think it has like root propagations. I think it travels by the roots as well, because It's in a lot of places. Here's some lettuce. He's got some asparagus here too. And then he's got carrots on this end. I've not had much luck with carrots, but he got the seeds. A coworker had given them to him, so thought he'd try them. This is my daughter's bed. She's got, these are Easter lilies. We just transplanted them from years past. This is Shasta daisy. She got that last year, and it's like at least twice as big. I don't think it flowered last year, so we're excited to get some flowers. In the corner, she's got gladiolus. This came from the Dollar Tree, and she actually divided them. So she's got them in the corners, and then she's also got them between the corners now. And then I think that is garlic chives there. And then she found a garlic. And so she's planted it. It looks like you got 3 plants, though. Was it a head of garlic? Or was it one like single clove?
I'm pretty sure it's a head of garlic.
Yeah, it's okay. You can divide it and then you could have 3 plants, but at this time I think just let it go. We'll see what it looks like when we pull it up. Lots of ants. Just peek out at the front. We got lots of oregano. I threw some parsley seeds. This was self-seeded for a long time, but it dwindled and dwindled. And this parsley I actually got from a grocery store and I put in here. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but I ended up throwing some more parsley seeds. I got some parsley seeds. I also got maple trees, but parsley seeds are coming up now. Thyme really has filled in. This was very like leggy, and I cut it way back and it looks great. Same thing with the sage. It was turning leggy and kind of woody at the base, and I cut it way back. Now it's beautiful and it's flowering. It rained quite a bit, so my rosemary is, normally it's standing upright, but it's growing a lot. Another big patch of oregano. This is all garlic chives. I pulled so many garlic chives out of this area. Some more of the wood chips I put down. This is mostly like my pollinator garden here. And then these are my like herbs that I actually use, culinary herbs mostly. Got some mint in a pot, some marigold seeds in there. And so I have pulled the garlic chives through a lot of seeds in here, but my daughter so nicely helped me pull all the weeds out. And so there's a few that have come up in the meantime. I got some borage I started from seed. So one there, and one there, and then one down there. And I got some more under the lights still. And then that's a bachelor's button. Those are all good bee flowers. These are perennial echinacea, and this is an orange echinacea. So they're coming back, looking really good. And that's a bee balm I put in last year. I did put some marigolds that I started under the lights there. I had some more, but I think the squirrels ate them or something. Last year they ate a lot of my marigold seedlings too. So those ones look okay. And so yeah, hopefully this will fill in. I'd like it to be mostly perennial, or at least seeding themselves. And a little flower patch in the front. Never liked to grow flowers until I got bees. And now I love the flowers. Okay, so that's everything. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give my video a thumbs up. Let me know how your garden is growing. Hopefully you can hear me. The wind is blowing. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.